Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to The Blind Gooner. Welcome to another show. Listen, first and foremost, I want to thank everybody who is been watching the channel recently, subscribing, liking, and all that jazz. Listen, thank you to each and every one of you who have liked, who have subscribed, and who have been watching my content. Also, I realised I'm a day late with this review of the Man City game. It was meant to be yesterday, but just a bit tired yesterday and didn't really want to come on and do YouTube because I was tired. And we got a game in 2 days as well against Rapid Vienna, which there will be a preview for that game, and that will be tomorrow evening, roughly about the same time, roughly about 7 o'clock, 6:45. There will be a review. There will be a preview of the Rapid Vienna game. There's also going to be a press conference tomorrow, so it'll be interesting to see what is said in that press conference and what is said about the game on Thursday. But listen, not here to talk about that today. That's for tomorrow. I'm going to talk about the Man City game, which I've had a lot of time to think about this game. I've had a lot of time to reflect and to go over some of the things that have happened. And listen, I know a lot of people out there are losing their shit over this. A lot of people are angry with Arteta's selections, angry with the fact that it was a bit of a missed opportunity, really, wasn't it? You know, we had a good chance to try and beat Man City. You know, they had key players out, you know, De Bruyne. You know, they've had a lot of players out that weren't really that have really caused us a lot of problems over the years. So it was a missed opportunity. Let's get that right. It was a missed opportunity. But on hindsight, you know, yes, you could argue that maybe the Arteta got his tactics wrong. Arteta got the lineup wrong. Maybe leaving Partey out was a big mistake. But listen, the way I see it is that we only lost 1-0. Yes, we still lost, but the performance was better. Defensively, I felt we lacked a bit creativity in the creative third of the pitch going forward and from midfield. Now, the reason for this is I feel that we focus too much on trying to stop Man City from scoring and we focus too much on defending. We sort of sacrificed the balance of the team in terms of attacking Man City. And also it didn't help with Arteta playing Willian as a false nine. Don't think that quite worked. It would have been so much easier just to put a natural forward there, like Lacazette or Aubameyang. I remember when the team come out, we all thought that it was going to be Aubameyang at the centre forward role, but it wasn't. He turned out to be in his left position, and Willian turned out to be on the, you know, that front forward player. But listen, sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. In terms of tactics, so it's just a bit mad, isn't it? It is just a bit mad. Listen, I'm not going to stay on too long tonight because I'm pretty tired, so I just want to chill out. So I'll continue on with this review and read a comment or two if there are any in the chat. The thing that's worrying for me with this Man City game and the Liverpool game, I'm noticing a bit of a pattern. And the pattern being that Arteta seems to like experimenting in these big games. Now, I'm all for experimenting, and let's be honest, we've not had a pre-season, so he hasn't really got the time to experiment with formations and tactics. Listen, he hasn't had a pre-season. He's not had the personnel. Listen, some would argue that he still hasn't got the personnel. I personally think we need a lot more quality in the team. We need to get rid of a lot of this deadwood, which didn't get done over the summer for whatever reason. But listen, next summer is going to be key because a lot of the deadwood's contracts are coming to an end, so they'll just naturally leave the club. But I feel like in terms of the experimenting with formations and tactics, he's not really had that opportunity to experiment, because there's been no pre-season, because obviously with the pandemic and all that, the seasons have been condensed together. There's only been 3 or 4 weeks break, and he's only had a couple of pre-season friendlies, so he's not really had a proper pre-season. But the thing that's worrying for me with this experimenting is doing it against teams that are the finished articles. So you look at Man City. Okay, yes, we know that Man City's got problems, but effectively and essentially they are better than us. Liverpool, we know they're the finished article. You know, they won the league last season. So, you know, in my opinion, experiment and do all that jazz. Use the Europa League or the Carabao Cup to experiment. Don't do it in a Premier League game against the big teams, because it just doesn't work. So, you know, I'm all for experimenting and I'm all for tactics, but do it in the lesser games, the games with lesser importance. So that's a worrying trend for me. That's worrying in terms, like with Arteta, and also as well, his selections have been baffling in the 2 big games that we've played, Man City and Liverpool. The selections have been baffling. Now, for whatever reason, Arteta seems to, in these big games, he seems to panic a bit and try and overthink things rather than sticking with the basics. Now, the game against Man City, he should have just stick with that tried and tested 3-4-3 with a balance in there. You shouldn't experiment with things like putting Willian as a false 9 and various things like that. He should have stuck with what worked in the semi-final. I feel like he was trying to outsmart Pep and kind of backfired. So yeah, like that's a worrying for me. But listen, I'm going to balance this out now, and overall, you know, I've been happy with Arteta's performances. I've been happy with, you know, the direction the team's going. Now, in terms of Man City, in terms of that game, I am very, very, very pleased that we went there and we showed more fight. You know, yes, we still lost the game, and we did. You know, the result is not great, but I felt we defended better. Listen, we've gone there, and we've had a mauling. You know, we've lost 3-0, we lost 6-3, 3-1. You know, we haven't won there since 2015. So in terms of that, you could say that, okay, we've still lost the game, which is the overriding result. But in terms of the performance, we defended better. We made it difficult for them. We just couldn't create anything. We just couldn't take our chances. And I felt like it was small margins that cost us this game. I'm pretty sure that if it wasn't for Leno's error, we would have drew the game, because it was that kind of game. But I've seen a lot of people defending Leno, but in my opinion, the guy is a world-class keeper. He needs to do better. You can't parry shots into the danger area. You cannot expect to carry on doing that and expect to always get away with it. He just kept parrying shot after shot into the danger area. And he's not just done it against Man City, but he's done it against other teams as well, but with lesser players who are going to jump on that and cause us problems. It just so happened that against Man City, you've got players like Raheem Sterling that's going to jump onto that error and put it into the net. And that's what happened on Saturday. But Leno's got to do better, and he's got to try and catch the ball more often than try and parry it out. Because for me, as you know, for all his world-class saves and for all his, kept us in the season last season, and he's done a great job. For me, that's a weakness. And listen, I'm here to criticize him for his weaknesses. I'm not just going to focus on his strengths. If you're going to look at him as a goalkeeper as a whole, you've got to look at his weaknesses. And I'm sorry, that's a weakness that he has. And that's a weakness that's going to cost us a lot of points. I know he's saved us a lot of points. He's saved us a lot of draws and stuff. But listen, in a game like that, we could have easily got a draw out of that game, 0-0 draw. But if it wasn't for that error, we would have drew the game. But listen, the error is what it is. And, there's not a lot we can do about that, is there really? There's not a lot we can do about the error, but Bernd Leno's got to do better. He's got to start catching shots, because you cannot do that. You cannot expect to parry shots time after time and expect to get away with it. So it is what it is with Leno. But listen, it is what it is with the result as well. We just have to move on from this now. Listen, we got a game on Thursday against Rapid Vienna. We've got to bounce back. I'm hoping to see Partey in that team. But yeah, the Man City game is just one of them. We have to write it off and move it on. Listen, the games are coming thick and fast. We can't dwell on it for too long. We have to put that to bed and move on. Like I say, there is going to be a preview for the game tomorrow. Breaking news as well, guys, which has just been reported on Sky Sports as I am live. As you probably heard my phone there. Mesut Ozil has been left out of the Premier League squad for the 2020-21 season. So, that was good timing, wasn't it? So now we can all slag off Mesut Ozil for the next couple of streams. But yeah, he's been left out of the Europa League, the Premier League squad. So that has just been announced as we are live. So yeah, that's what the notification was coming through on my phone. But there is some good news after all, eh? It's not all doom and gloom. The club are getting some things right. I've seen some people as well, right, suggesting that because we lack creativity in the midfield to bring back Mesut Ozil, which would absolutely be the wrong thing to do. You cannot bring back Mesut Ozil and expect him to do wonders. I remember I was watching Charles Watts' video earlier, and he said that bringing Mesut Ozil back will do nothing for the squad, because he's played up at the Etihad time and time, and he's had no impact, no meaningful impact on the game. So bringing him back now is not going to make any difference. And I agree. I absolutely agree with him. Big up to 7 of you watching live. Listen, I know it's been a bit of a stop and start stream, because going solo is always quite difficult when you have to talk the whole time, and you have to listen to my voice. So big up to all of you watching live. Remember, do hit that like button. Do hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Would really appreciate that. Listen, I've been rambling on for 13 minutes now, so I'm going to read some of your comments and interact with you guys in the chat. Big up to NW Arsenal. Hope you're well, mate. Thanks for tuning in. Not seen you in the chat before, but thanks for tuning in. Evening to Omar as well. Good evening to Bertrand as well. Bertrand's in the chat. Hope you're well, my friend. Zidane's in the chat. Hope you're well, mate, as well. I've not seen you in here for a while. Bertrand says Leno isn't that great. Do you know the thing with Leno, right? He's a great keeper, but if he can improve this catching the ball thing when he comes to collect crosses or comes to stop shots. He will be an even better keeper. But he's not very commanding of his box, is he, Leno? And he parries the shots into danger area. And I've said it for time, and everyone's been fucking melted down, going into meltdown because I've said it over and over again. I've said Leno is an accident waiting to happen. You know, he's a great keeper. All lot of you lot are seeing, right, that he's saving us game after game, point after point. And yeah, granted, he's doing some fantastic saves. I agree. But he's an accident waiting to happen. And that is that he's going to parry the shots into an oncoming De Bruyne or Sterling, and he's going to cost us a game. And actually, what happened on Saturday? He parried the shot. Oh, lo and behold, there's Sterling and comes in and scores. So yeah, exactly. You know, Leno needs to improve that side of his game. I'm not saying he's a shit keeper. I'm just saying that if he can improve that side of his game, he'd be a much better keeper. And because Martinez done so well in his time at Arsenal, especially towards the latter stages of his Arsenal career, more questions are going to be asked of Leno, and he's got to stand up to that. If he wants to be a number one, he's got to expect to take criticism. And if he wants to get into that German team when Neuer eventually packs off his bags, then he's got to do better. Big up Omar, he said he does the same thing over and over again. Exactly. Big up to Diego C. Palace. Hope you're well, my friend. Bertrand says R.I.P. Ozil. Exactly, mate. Exactly. R.I.P. Ozil. What a joke. Ozil's finished. Ozil was finished when he got to Arsenal. He's finished now. He's at Arsenal, and he's going to be finished when he leaves the club. That guy is just a waste of space. That guy can't even kick a ball. He can't even do nothing. And then you got people over here just having a moan because we lack creativity, and they think that he's the answer. Well, if he was the answer, he would have done it here by now at Arsenal. You know, he's been at Arsenal for what, 6-7 years, and he ain't done jack shit. The best people can come up with is that he helped to win us an FA Cup in 2013-2014 season, when actually he did nothing in that game. It was actually Aaron Ramsey did more in that game than Mesut Ozil did. Big up Jonathan Porter. John, he said Leno's not shit. He was in our eyes, many people's eyes, the player of the season. I'm not saying he's shit. I'm not saying Leno is shit, right? And this is where a lot of you need to get it right. I'm not saying Leno is shit. I'm just saying that he needs to improve certain aspects of his game. And one aspect of his game is he needs to start catching crosses instead of punching them into the danger area, because he's doing that far too often, and 9 times out of 10 will get away with it. But that one chance, as we saw on Saturday, now I'm not saying he's at complete fault. You know, Bellerin was at fault as well. But if he'd had caught that or even punched it out of the danger zone, he could have prevented that goal. And like I said, had we not conceded that goal, we would have drew the game 0-0, because it was that kind of game. Amar says we look so timid and scared. Arteta's team selection was a joke too. Yeah, I agree with you, Amar. Like, in terms of, you know, we lacked creativity, but defensively, I thought we were okay. I actually thought we were decent defensively. I'm not going to argue with you as well about Arteta's selections, because they were baffling. Bertrand said he felt more comfortable with Martinez, to be honest. He's just perfect all rounder. Yeah, I agree. Like, I listen. I'm not adverse to Leno. I would have Leno in goal, but he's got to do better than what he's done. Diego C. Palace is asking, with Ozil out of the way, do you think the players can provide better results? Only time will tell, to be honest. You know, we've still not seen Partey for 90 minutes. I think that will change on Thursday. I think he'll get at least 60, 70-minute run out ahead of the Leicester game. But yeah, it depends. It just depends on how Arteta sets the team up, because Arteta sets the tactics, and if he does stupid things like play Willian as a false nine, which was clearly not going to work, we're going to fail. But if he does things right, then yeah, of course, I think other players can step up. Listen, Aubameyang needs to step up. That guy's not scored a goal since he signed his contract. Lacazette needs to be in the team. The guy is scoring every single game. The only games that he's not scored in are the games that he's left out of. So you need to keep him in. I think he's got a point to prove this season. Pepe's got to step up. The guy's useless at the moment. I'm going to be honest with you. Pepe is useless. He's not living up to that £72 million price tag. He should be adapting now to the Premier League because he's had a season. So yeah, it's interesting to see. But yeah, I think players can step up. Exactly, Jonathan. He said we played okay, and he said he said that Arteta's team selection was okay. The only thing was it was a mistake playing Willian through the middle and not changing it earlier when it clearly wasn't working. Yeah, I agree. That's another thing as well. Arteta's leaving it too late. Like we only seen Partey for 8 minutes on Saturday, so we need to see more of him. But I think we will. Let's have a look. Big up Cheddars. Cheddars hates it that people blame Ozil because he signed the contract. He has to turn up. Thing is, as well, though, he hasn't lived up to expectations, is he? And you know what? I'm going to be brutally honest as well. I think Pepe's heading the same way as Ozil because he ain't performing neither. The only good thing about Pepe is that we haven't got him on a high contract. He needs to start stepping up because at the moment he's not, and I want to see more from Pepe. Jonathan said Omar said Len. Okay, fair enough. Have a look. Oh, Cheddar, sorry, I misread your comment. Sorry. So yeah, people defending Ozil. Yeah, everybody defends her. I don't know why people defend Ozil, to be honest. And they've got no justice. They've got no fucking hell. I'll get my words out eventually. They've got no real factual evidence to support their argument. Big up Grant McRoberts. Hope you're well, mate. So yeah, just doing a review of the Man City game, Grant. So I'm just currently reading out people's comments. Like I say, this review was a day late. I was meant to do it yesterday, but I didn't get around to it. So yeah, just reviewing the Man City game, and I've just given my thoughts. So Jonathan says, what Well, it's interesting that the last few seasons going to City has been embarrassing. It shows how much we expect. Shows how much we've closed the gap that we expected more from the game. In my eyes, that's progress. Yeah, and I think that is. I think it is progress. And the same with Liverpool. We didn't get mauled, did we, up at Liverpool? So it's just one of them, innit? It will come. Remember, it took Liverpool a few seasons to get to where they are. And I think that can happen with us. We just have to give it time. But Arteta's got to start making better decisions in these big games. He's got to make better decisions. He can't keep messing around with the team selection and experimenting in these big games. Do it in the blooming lesser games. I mean, I admire him for trying things out because, listen, we had a decade of Arsene Wenger just stuck rigidly to the same thing and not really experimenting. So, I admire him, but he's doing it in the wrong games. Omar says Pepe's dead. This is why I'm. Grant says this is why I'm always negative. I've been negative against Arteta since he joined the club. He doesn't know his best 11, and his team selections are always wrong or a joke. Do you know what? Right, and it's quick to blame Arteta, and I'm not saying. Listen, he was at fault on Saturday. I listen. You guys know how I feel about Arteta. Listen, I'm Arteta in. I'm backing him, but he got it wrong. He got the tactics and the selection. No, he got the selection right, but just the tactics wrong. Okay, with the possible exception that he should have started Partey. But again, I can understand why he didn't start Partey. In my opinion, I would have started him. But I get why he didn't do that. And I would have played Aubameyang down the middle instead of Willian. So maybe his team selection wasn't wrong, but his tactics on that were wrong. But I get listen, I get it. I get why why some people aren't Arteta, why are being a bit negative towards Arteta. But yeah, on this occasion he was wrong. And I've said this. But again, in terms of he doesn't know his best 11. Come on, listen. Look at the crap that's still here. We've only signed a few players, and we've known that it's going to take more than one transfer window. And he's got to work with what he's got. Listen, I'm giving him at least another transfer window because listen, we ain't going to win the title. We ain't going to go from where we were last season to winning the title this season or next season. Listen, guys, it ain't going to happen. So if you're basing the manager's performances on winning titles and stuff, then maybe you need to lower your expectations just a tad because we're not going to go from where we were last season to win titles, especially with this crop of crap. And we have to understand, and I don't want to use the word process because I know that pisses a lot of people off. But we have to understand that it is going to take time to change these players. Now, listen, Arteta doesn't help his cause by making stupid decisions. But again, we have to also factor in that he's learning on the job as well. He's a first-time manager, and listen, it's a very difficult situation. But listen, I don't think it's all negative. I don't think it's all negative. But listen, he's got to learn that you can't experiment in these big games because it just doesn't work. Let's have a look. Remember, smash the likes, guys, and subscribe if you're new. Would really appreciate that. He said we've played Liverpool and City 3 times. We haven't played the lesser teams to work on the attack. I don't think you can use the fact that we've played City and Liverpool quite a lot recently. I don't think you can use that as an excuse, to be honest, Jonathan. Right? Because listen, you got to play the big teams, and if we aspire to be in a big team, you've got to start beating those big teams. So I don't think necessarily you can use that as an excuse. That's just my opinion on it, right? You can't. Yes, we have to take it into consideration because they're miles better than us, and they are essentially the finished article. I know Man City have got problems, but in my opinion, you can't. If we're scared about playing these big teams, how do you expect us to go there and get a result? We have to start changing our mindset. You think as well, right? Do you think the teams, the Invincibles and all that, right? You think they were scared of playing Man City and Liverpool? We can't be scared of these teams. We've got to play them. We've got to play them, and the more time we play them, the more chance we have of improving and beating them. So I don't think we can use that as an excuse. What have we got here? Let's have a look. Let's have a look here.
Open Messenger.
I don't get why he didn't start. Grant says, I don't get why he didn't start Partey. He had 2 training sessions, played for 2 games for Ghana, but yet Tierney started and had no training session. Listen, this is just my thing. I don't think it was a case of the fact that Partey had played games and Tierney hadn't. Yes, I think it was a case of Tierney is already in tune with the way Arteta wants the team to play, whereas Partey had just come in and had not really, even though he's match fit and ready and that, he'd not really had a chance to get used to how the team is playing. I think it was more of that reason why he didn't start. I don't think it was a fitness issue. Jonathan says, when we get better players, we can judge more. Yeah, I agree with you, Jonathan. When we get better players, we can judge more. I think it's too early because there's still a lot of deadwood at this club. There is still a lot of deadwood at this club. So when we get better players, we can judge more. When we get better players, we can start really criticizing him. And listen, just because you criticize a manager doesn't mean to say that you're Arteta in or Arteta out. Listen, everybody has their views on Arteta. I'm personally backing Arteta because I think there are some positives and we are starting to see a turnaround. But having said that, he's not immune to criticism, and on Saturday he got it wrong. he got it massively wrong on Saturday, you know, with his team selection and his tactics. But, you know, like we always said, guys, there is going to be bumps on the road. You know, there's going to be bumps on the road, isn't there? So we just have to accept that. We have to accept that this is a process, and I know a lot of people don't want to use the word process. A lot of people are sick of the word process, but we have to accept that it's going to take time. It's not going to be straightforward. It's not going to be plain sailing all the way. So we just have to accept that, guys. We have to, as fans, be a little bit patient. Now, I know that Arsenal fans aren't really patient, and I get it. You know, we all want to win. We all want to win. We all want to be successful. We all want to get back to the glory days of winning titles and winning Champions Leagues and being competitive again. But listen, we're not there yet. We've got a lot of deadwood to get rid of. We've got a lot of players that need to leave this club. We've got a lot of players that aren't good enough. And it's going to take time to ship it out. And then let's not forget as well, we got this horrible situation with coronavirus, which is just absolutely messing around with everything, not just football, but everybody's lives. And, you know, people's patients are wearing thin because of that, not just because of their football team and their football team's losing. So we just have to accept that, don't we? Listen, I've been going for almost 35 to 40 minutes now, so I'm going to wrap up. Like I said, it wasn't going to be an overly long one this evening because I've just a bit knackered this evening and got a preview coming out tomorrow as well, so I'll probably go a bit longer and read some more of your questions out, and hopefully I'll get somebody who can come on and join me tomorrow, so you don't have to listen to my boring tones all like 30 to 40 minutes to an hour. But yeah, listen, guys, thanks to everybody who's tuned in. Listen, you guys have been mad. Do keep hitting the like button, do keep hitting the subscribe button, and if you like what if you like what I'm doing, you know, please give it a massive thumbs up. Would really appreciate that. I'm so close now to hitting the required watch time for monetization, which is a big step for me. You know, I never thought that getting a YouTube channel I would get it monetized within a year. So listen, that's down to you guys watching the content and making it possible for me. So thank you very much. You know, I appreciate all you guys, because I always keep saying without you guys there wouldn't be a channel. I'd just be sat talking to a dead computer screen looking like a complete idiot. So yeah, I just want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in. Listen, guys, I'll be back tomorrow with the preview for the Rapid Vienna game. Look after yourselves, enjoy the rest of the evening, take care of yourselves, don't dwell on the Man City game too much. Listen, we're gonna get bumps in the road. There's gonna be things that go wrong, and we just have to accept it, don't we? We just have to accept it. We have to move on. Listen, the game's coming thick and fast, and it is what it is. Listen, guys, take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I'll be back tomorrow with a preview for the Rapid Vienna game. Until then, come on, you Gunners.